Being black and in love.
Oh dear.
Being black and in love. What do you mean by being black and in love?
Love is a very broad term.
Yeah, that's an interesting one.
It's a difficult one, I think.
Subhanallah. Now, it's a challenge. It's a big challenge, I think, for young people to be black and to find love.
Is there a difference to being white and in love?
It's a question, and it's like, you know, what does it really mean?
I genuinely don't know what to say to that. I don't know. You okay.
I'm not sure about the question.
Go, I'm going to pass that one to my sister.
Just purely because of the colour of the skin and what makes something desirable. Unfortunately, the black woman I feel is least desirable because of the colour of her skin and because of a lot of the stereotypes.
Like angry black woman.
Yeah, that are put onto the black woman, and that's my experience.
Growing up in a society which, in my community, being a black male and talking about love is something which really, it's weird, it's like a taboo subject.
I think I was on my own for about a good 9 years or something like that before I got married, because people within the Muslim community didn't want to know us because they consider us, we're the same Jamaicans who have come into Islam.
I think coming from an East African, particularly Somali background as well, being black in itself, that is like an entire discussion. And so yeah, marrying outside of the culture, I think it varies from household to household, but I know that there's a lot of discussion around outside of Somali culture marriages, and I know my parents aren't too strict about it, so as long as obviously he's Muslim and he's practicing, but obviously the preference is that he's of Somali background and that he speaks the language.
There's a lot of brothers and sisters who are black experience discrimination when it comes to choosing a spouse. If they wanted to marry somebody who was Asian or Arab, then there would be kind of like oppositions on all fronts to the point where they may not even marry them, and that's purely down to racism.
Marriage brings happiness, and through that happiness you find love.
An issue that I think is prevalent within the Muslim community, especially within the black community, but a lot of men I don't think are honest and open about, is that a lot of us are desiring a non-black woman. So even for a black man looking for love, a number of times he won't openly admit it, but he's desiring an Asian woman or an Arab woman or a white woman.
Well, my journey to marriage was quite interesting because I was, as you know, I was a performer. I was part of the group, actually, subhanAllah, it was before Mecca to Medina. I was a performer in the group Cash Crew, and we was performing, and my wife-to-be, I didn't know she was my wife at the time, she was giving out flyers for another event. So I took a flyer, I spoke to how you doing, But what was interesting, I saw her reading a book called Dajjal. I don't know, you might not know Dajjal. Dajjal is an Islamic book, and it's written by like a Muslim, a convert Muslim, who's a lawyer as well, and it talks about the system and stuff. When I saw her reading that, I was like, oh my God, look, this is really good sign, And then from there, I met up with her a few times. At the time when I met her, she wasn't Muslim, she was Christian, So then we talked a lot about Islam, gave her lots of books to read, we argued a lot about Islam. And then she converted to Islam, alhamdulillah. And we got married, lovely, yes.
What's happening is that we're not understanding each other the way that we should do. We're not understanding what love is. And I do get some black men say to me, black women, they're really harsh, so that's why we don't go for black women. But I say to those black men, there's charcoal in this hand and there's a rock of diamond in that hand. What are they made of? They're made from carbon. So why is that charcoal and why is that diamond? It's because of the pressure. So, black men, do you want to be a lump of charcoal or do you want to be a rock of diamond? It's up to you.
So being black and being in love means there's restrictions on who you can marry. So especially being Somali, you can't bring home someone who's not Somali. The anti-blackness in the Somali community is so there that If you bring home a brother, although he's not Somali, who is an African descendant, your mom would not let him in the house.
There is always that thing at the back of your mind when you're, maybe looking into sisters from other races. How is their family? To the point where you're probably going to ask that first. How is your family towards black people or towards black Muslims before you even get into any conversation?
Islam actually taught me what love is and how to appreciate a woman for the creation that she is, and not for what society tells me I should appreciate a woman,
So if a person is living in a state of love, then they find love in every moment, in every experience, and in every relationship.
I don't know if it's a crisis, but I think there's definitely a problem within society as a whole in terms of people finding partners. I think there's a problem within Muslim communities as a whole with people finding partners. I think there's a problem within black communities as a whole with people finding partners. So when you put all of those things together, being black, Muslim, and trying to find a partner, I think it can be difficult. And I think as I get older as well, I think it's becoming more and more difficult because I guess I'm becoming more, I think there's something really nice about growing with someone and like developing with someone.
I used to think that the reason I'm not married at the moment is because I'm a black Muslim woman, and within the Muslim community, but within every single community, if we were to have a hierarchy, we would literally be at the bottom. Do you know what I mean? But then I realized, I look at some of my friends and they're not black and they're also not married, so then I realized I shouldn't take it too personal because it just seems like it's a fitna of the times where it's difficult to get married.
Also, what we need to think about when we're talking about love and black people, we're forgetting our spirituality and how much our spirituality is actually involved in finding true love. And I don't feel that without knowing the love or experiencing the love for God, that you can actually know and understand true love.
That's the other
yeah,
That's the other
it's
problem.
like, oh, the exotic black woman. I'm like,
yeah, I'll have a taste of that, innit?